King Crab.
Hey there, kiddos, and welcome back to the channel. I'm Uncle Frank. I'm that you're having a great day. And in today's video, I think we're going to have a little relaxing conversation about opinions and noise and why it's important that you make your own decisions for yourself with as informed a mindset as possible. And yeah, let's dig right on into this little conversation here. You see, in the world of TCGs, regardless of which sphere you find yourself attracted to, Yu-Gi-Oh, Magic, Pokemon, Flesh and Blood, whatever have you, you're going to find that there's a lot of noise out there on the internet. And especially if you find yourself in an echo chamber, it's easy to fall into believing a specific narrative or to make decisions, financial or otherwise, that might not be the best informed. You know, let's look at the Spider-Man situation, for instance. You know, there's a lot of people out there right now who are convinced that Spider-Man is the worst Magic set of all time, or one of the worst Magic sets of all time, that it was a complete failure, it experienced a complete crash, and it's going to zero and all that jazz. And you know, a lot of the people who have that opinion are either A, people listening to content creators or loud voices in the community proclaiming it to be such for one reason or another, or B, they're the people who just a few weeks ago got the rug pulled out under them when Spider-Man released and it wasn't a $1,000 box. In fact, it was a $500 box, and they got absolutely wiped out, and now they're furious because it didn't pull a Final Fantasy at release. Crazy stuff. You know, there's people right now who are convinced that because Pokemon is not skyrocketing higher, in fact, sales appear to be slowing down, people aren't jumping through windows to try and get Mega Evolutions booster boxes at 300 or 400 or whatever some people are trying to sell them for. Now they're convinced Pokemon's crashing, and they're telling everyone else that Pokemon's crashing. You should sell your cards, sell your boxes. It's all gonna go down. It's all gonna be completely wiped out. And there's a lot of people who are going to make decisions based on what they see online, whether it's from a content creator or from friends and just members of their community, whatever that community ends up being. And, you know, I think it's important that while, A, you do try your best to get as much diversity of opinion as possible, it's also equally important, I think, to, regardless of the information you receive, whether it's here on YouTube in videos just like mine, or out there in whatever community you find, that you make your decisions, financial or otherwise, based on your own sound reasoning at the end of the day. You know, if you're going to make a decision, you can't say at the end of the day, you can't say tomorrow, well, I bought this based on what this guy, and that gal said. You have to say at the end of the day, I made this decision because I evaluated it, I gave it some thought, and I've decided it's the best decision to make in the moment. You know, let me give you an example. Over here I've got some Pokemon products. This is Scarlet Violet Base. I am a huge fan of Scarlet Violet Base. I love the illustration rares in this set. I think this is the best base set we have ever had. It's the first of the silver bordered sets for Pokemon. I really like this set. And if you asked me, I think, for my money, this is just one of the best sets in Pokemon for what it is. This is Destined Rivals, and I think this set's awful. It's a Team Rocket set that doesn't have any dark Pokemon in it. It's a stupid idea. The best illustration rare is a Mewtwo, and that's ugly. It's a terrible Pokemon. Terrible card, too. There's no cool trainers in here. There's nothing good going on in here. The illustration rares are all janky. The silver border is old and overused by this point. It's old hat. There's nothing crazy in here, and it's just the trailing end of the Scarlet and Violet era, coughing its way out the door before Mega Evolutions comes. And if I was a huge content creator spouting those opinions, there would be people who would take that stuff to heart and decide to buy a crap load of Scarlet and Violet base over Destined Rivals. And they would tell their friends, you know, Destined Rivals sucks because Uncle Frank said so. Please do not tell people that Destined Rivals sucks because of me. But yeah, there are people who make decisions based entirely on what some content creator says or what some group of content creators says without looking into it any further. You know, there are people out there who genuinely have no idea what's in this product. Probably not a lot of them, because this is a massively open product at this point, but there's going to be people out there who don't know like what's good in here, what's bad in here, etc. Same with Scarlet Violet. And they're just going to take whatever opinions they have as gospel and move forward with those decisions, regardless of whether or not those are well-informed and clearly thought-out decisions. And if those decisions are made, if you make a poorly informed decision based on just what some other people were saying, you can't blame them at the end of the day, because the world doesn't work like that. They're not the ones who suffer the consequences of a poorly informed decision. Yeah, you know, you can lambast them on social media. You can point to a content creator who gave terrible advice and say, oh, you suck, I'm unsubscribing and all that jazz. And, you know, if they make a big enough statement that enough people follow through on, yeah, you know, they could lose a chunk of their subscriber base and all that jazz. But at the end of the day, they're not the ones who usually went about and decided to, I don't know, buy a terrible... I should have grabbed the trick or trade bundles as an example. I should have said, let's go back to the analogy. This is the best Pokemon product of all time. If you buy this over Destined Rivals, you're going to make $1 bazillion. Please don't do that. You know, but there are going to be people who make those decisions based on just what they hear online without any further research, any further reasoning, etc. And at the end of the day, they are the ones who make that decision. And like it or not, you can only hold yourself accountable for the decisions you make. So make those decisions as well informed as possible. And I want this to be a shorter video, so I'll end it right there, so I'm not going to go rambling for too much. But really, you know, on this channel, I've said it before, and I'll say it again as many times as I need to, but it's important that you get informed about anything you're trying to really get involved in. And go out there, find those content creators you like, find those articles you like to read, and get as much information about a product as you can before making a decision on it. And just remember, you know, once you're getting confident, once you're getting informed, once you're getting a lot of experience under your belt, you know, you can be a bit more confident with what you end up picking at the end of the day, what decisions you make. And taking that accountability can just kind of really feel good, you know. So yeah, you know, don't go buying trick or trade boosters because some crazy guy on YouTube told you to. All right, that's the real lesson here in this video. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Ciao.